This is SSPTV News, brought to you by Samsung Productions and the Hazleton Standard Speaker.
With a primary election looming, Pennsylvanians are still waiting to see a final congressional district map after reapportionment. We'll talk with the state representative next. Hello and welcome, friends. I'm Ken Kara. Thank you for watching, and here's your local information. The fate of Pennsylvania's congressional districts is now in the hands of the Pennsylvania Supreme Court. Arguments began on Friday after more than a dozen maps were proposed. After a Commonwealth Court judge chose the map submitted by the Republican-controlled state assembly, that decision was appealed. Lisa Sugar talked with a state lawmaker last week about the process.
It is called reapportionment, and it happens every 10 years with the United States Census. What exactly is it, and how does it impact us? To get the answers, we're talking with our dear friend, State Representative Jerry Knowles, who represents the 124th Legislative District in Pennsylvania. Representative Knowles, for those not familiar with this, they hear the word and the term. What exactly is reapportionment?
Well, reapportionment, as you noted before, every 10 years they take a census. And then on the federal level, the congressional delegation of each state may change as the number of people that live within each of the states changes. They may get one, they may get, there may be a change in the number of congressmen that they have in the United States Congress. Now, that's the one part of the reapportionment. The other part of the reapportionment is that there are 203 state representatives and there are 50 senators. And the same thing happens there. As the population shifts into certain areas, they have to compensate by adjusting the districts to be certain that everybody has a pretty close number of people that they represent.
Now, final map lines for all these districts were determined recently, but it's not necessarily etched in stone because now that's going to court, so they're being challenged, correct?
That is correct. It is in the courts right now, and it really makes things difficult. We're not quite sure when they will begin to circulate petitions. We're not quite sure whether or not there's a possibility that they move the date of the primary election. That's always a possibility, but we just have to wait and see. I mean, the ball is in the hands of the courts right now.
So when we're talking about changing the map lines and things of that nature, in the past years, Hazel Township, for example, was in 2 different districts, that one community. Now with the new maps, it will be in 1. But like McAdoo was not in the 116th legislative district, that has now been added to the 116th with the new lines. So for someone like you serving in the state legislature, that gives you new constituents that you have to get to know and new community leaders that you have to get to know, right? So it's kind of a challenge for you as well.
Well, in my district, the district that I represent, actually about one third of the people that I will, or that my successor will be representing, are new people. I don't quite get it. I mean, McAdoo and I've established good relationships with those folks up in McAdoo, up in Klein Township, and I'm going to miss them because it was pretty convenient for them to come down here to Tamaqua, and they were pretty happy the way things were. But unfortunately, I've got to tell you that the term that they use is gerrymandering, and it's kind of ironic because they talk about the fact that we're trying to eliminate gerrymandering, and I think that this is gerrymandering at its best.
Is there a deadline on when this has to be finished? Because we do need to know these boundaries in order for the election to happen.
We do need to know these boundaries, but you're dealing with the courts, and I don't know what the courts will do with it. Will they? I don't really know what the courts will do with it. We're behind. We're way behind. And they're going to hear the case, and then how long will it take them to come up with a decision? I mean, that could take time. I'm not saying maybe they recognize the severity of the situation and maybe they'll come up with a decision real quickly and get it back. But I think it's important that they do decide as quickly as they can and that we can move forward with the process because I don't, the other thing they're talking about, usually you have 3 weeks to circulate petitions. They're talking about reducing that to 2 weeks. Now that would be tough. You get one bad snowstorm around this time of the year and you're out struggling to get people to sign your, so it's, I mean, the only way I can describe it is it's a mess. It's just a total mess.
Time now for weather on SSPTV News.
We start the week with a hazardous weather outlook from the National Weather Service. Above average temperatures are expected through the middle of the week. In addition, another storm system will bring rain to the area Tuesday through Tuesday night. Localized ice jams or flooding will be possible during this time period. Here's our forecast from the National Weather Service on Tuesday. A 100% chance of rain, mainly after 8 a.m. We'll have a high near 52 degrees. New precipitation amounts between 1/4 and 1/2 inch possible. Tuesday night, a 100% chance of rain, mainly before 2 a.m. We'll have a low around 49 degrees and wind gusts as high as 28 miles per hour. New precipitation amounts between 1/4 and 1/2 inch possible. On Wednesday, a 40% chance of rain before 8 a.m. Partly sunny with a high near 55 degrees. Wind gusts as high as 23 miles per hour. Wednesday night, partly cloudy with a low around 21 degrees. Thursday, a 30% chance of snow after 2 p.m. Mostly cloudy with a high near 30 degrees. Thursday night, a 100% chance of snow mainly after 8 p.m. We'll have a low around 26 degrees. Friday, a 100% chance of snow before 2 p.m. We'll have a high near 37 degrees. And Friday night, mostly cloudy with a low around 12 degrees. Dallas beat Hazleton area in the Wyoming Valley Conference Boys Basketball Championship game over the weekend. Here's the SSPTV Standard Speaker scoreboard. The Cougars now shift their focus to the district's 2-4-6A sub-regional tournament. As the number 2 seed, they'll host Williamsport on Saturday at 7 p.m. in the semifinals. North Schuylkill's Maddie Wetzel led all scorers in the Schuylkill League Championship game with 24 points, but the Lady Spartans lost to Jim Thorpe. Jim Thorpe will be the number 1 seed in the District 11 4A tournament, and North Schuylkill is the number 4 seed. The Lady Spartans will play Wilson at Panther Valley High School on Saturday in the quarterfinals at 1 p.m. Penn State Schuylkill knocked Penn State Hazleton out of the Penn State University Athletic Conference men's basketball playoffs. Paul Feisel led Hazleton with 22 points. The Penn State Hazleton women had a home PSU AC playoff game and lost to Penn State Brandywine. Azaria Johnson had 28 points and 15 rebounds for the local Lady Lions. Emily Titus, a Tamaqua area high school alum, had 10 points and 8 rebounds. Up next, Lehigh Valley Hospital Hazleton's Emergency Department Medical Director talks about preventing injuries during the winter months. And in sports, we play a round of Know Your Teammate with the Hazleton area high school swimming teams.
SSPTV News would like to send sincere condolences to the family and friends of these recently departed. Michael L. Archie, age 85, of Hazleton, Mass. will be held on Monday at 10 a.m. at Church of St. Joseph. Friends will be called Monday from 9 to 10 a.m. at the church. The Frank J. Bonner Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements. And Beth Ann Mussolini, age 52, of Wilkes-Barre, Mass. will be held on Wednesday at 10 a.m. at Good Shepherd Church. The Crofton Hughes Funeral Home is in charge of arrangements.
Tonight's obituaries are being brought to you in part by Harmon Funeral Homes and Crematory, with 2 locations in Rockland and in Drums, 570-384-3312 or 570-788-0977, and go to harmonfuneral.com.